In this video, I will share with you 3 things that you can use during this Aquarian energy, which is the portal to the 1111 gateway and the Lion's Gate, that you can use to transcend your limitations and align with your highest and greatest truth. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. Happy full moon in Aquarius, and welcome to the new age. This energy is very, very impactful and will help you transcend to the next level of your truth. And if we summed up this particular energy, it's about finding and following your truth so we can connect to the Christ grid of the Christ consciousness and represent that I am the truth, I am the light, and I will find my way towards my destiny or my highest good or my highest path. And so we're transcending upward. So in this Aquarian full moon that is opposing the Leo energy, where we have fire and air, this is coming together in this Aquarian alignment of these opposing attractions in order to ignite your inner expansion so that you can then elevate to a higher version of you. And to do that is going to take the integration of your shadows and your light that will help you purify and purge out what's not working so you can then embody your own truth that will allow you to come into this acceptance of your authentic self, or really your authentic truth. So as we oppose this Leo energy, the Leo is all about courageous spirit and coming into a place of confidence in order to be able to create our highest version of ourselves. This is an opening portal of the 1111 gateway to the actual new age, the golden era of the balance within, creates a ripple effect to create this harmonic reality around us so that we align with that highest version of who we are. And this is an 1111 gateway, primarily how it aligns in the energetic component of this particular full moon is we have the sun and the moon in this opposing 11-degree energy on both sides, creating an 11-11 effect, which is all about bringing balance to the internal that's going to harmonize in this Aquarian energy of the peace and the power, and to be able to create that peace and power, love, harmony, and balance in our self, in our life, in our love, and in our livelihood. So this is where this ripple effect is coming from the inside out, but therefore also what we do internally is also creating in this Aquarian energy a collective clearing, a collective elevation, a collective expansion. And so today I want to share with you 3 things that can help you transcend to the next level and layer of your truth. So before we do, there's one other thing that's really important about this full moon energy that's important to note. This is the opening portal for the Lion's Gate on August the 8th of 2020 here. And what the Lion's Gate really represents is the infinite ability to go to a new level in a new version of yourself, new light that's coming from the Sirian energy. Really, this is a cosmic annual new year, and it's the timeline that the energy is closest, the light of the Sirian energy is the closest to the earth plane, and therefore we then become activated. So we're going through this portal into this new age, this new era, into our ability to expand and upgrade into more light, embody more of that light. And to do that, that means that we're going to be activated in this timeline to increase the grid, our inner grid, so that our inner grid can then become the anchor of that cosmic light that's coming in through and around us into the earth plane, into the global grid. And then we align with the cosmic grid, creating this full circle and this infinite amount of light coming in through and around us. And at this particular time, it's about raising that vibration and transcending to that new version of us, of bringing in the highest version of light that we've ever experienced. So just stay tuned, because I do plan to do another video on that so that you can begin to activate more of that light, that you can anchor more of that light and truth, and that you can then bring and align with that cosmic grid that's going to bring it full circle for you to anchor and embody all of your truth and your light. And one of the things that can really help you do that is a diamond light activation. And I did one back in 2017 that was a really beautiful activation of sowing the seeds of radiance and being able to activate your light. And I did it live on the Lionscape. I actually have a link to that below if you'd like to get plugged into that activation. This timeline is a perfect opportunity to upgrade your light and activate you to the next level of your cosmic connection. So the first thing that we can do in this timeline is to elevate our light. And that really means alchemize our energy, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, but where we've been and what we've been going through to elevate means that we need to transcend what we've went through, basically. And to do that, that means we're transcending this concept of the duality so we can come into the neutrality. But to do that, we do have to honor and accept both sides of our shadow and our light, finding the balance with them. And that means that as we transcend that, we've been doing shadow work. And in the shadow work, I've worked with a lot of people that went through a lot of dark energy that has even went under like different psychic attacks over the last 3 years. And I've even went through some of this myself to transcend this darkness, so to speak. But because we are walking pillars of light, we're literally walking pyramids. That is the conduit of this energy that is creating shape-shifting of the energy around us. And so this is considered shadow work, and that's where a lot of people absorb that energy, and we need to transcend that shadow of the collective to go to the next layer of who we are. But to do that transcendent and elevate that, we personally need to then transcend our own mental limitations that are the fear, basically, that is keeping us connected to the limitations that are of the mind. And that comes down to even the limitations of belief systems, of our parental conditioning and our bloodline clearing that we have done. And because energy cannot be necessarily lost, it can only be transformed. This is an opportunity to face your fears so that you can then turn that fear through the perception of what your belief system is, which is what your truth is, and turn it into something that becomes the gift and something that you love out of it and find the blessing in it. That is elevating and alchemizing that energy to the next level that will help you find the balance within it. I did share in my last video my own example of how I did this, so I won't go into detail, but I'm going to make sure that the last video I did was in my Twin Flame Real Talk, and I talked about my real experience of how I was forced to stand up, show up, and face my fears and speak my truth and own that truth. And I used examples of my dad, and I thank you everyone for your feedback on that video. Everyone said how beautiful it was. So make sure to check out the link I'm going to have below, card up top for that, and at the end of this video, so that you can get plugged into that, because that will help you do what I'm saying and elevate and alchemize this energy if you can come into that mindset of it. And in shifting that, basically, as I mentioned, we're transcending the limitations so that we can transcend the old patterns of how we've handled things and create a new way to handle it, so that then that helps us to transcend the limiting patterns with old relationship patterns that we've had. That if you've not been following my series on the detachment series, I talk about this in different ways that you can uncover your relationship patterns that you've experienced and also change how you've handled those patterns in relationships before, so you can shift the way you handled that into transcending the lower patterns, and that you can align with the higher patterns that's going to take you towards more of your highest good. So in the second thing that's going to be super important that you utilize this energy for is to expand your truth. And the only way you can really expand anything is to go to the next level of facing what you've already done and creating space for it and clearing out what's not working, collecting the power you've lost in this process, and then connecting to more of that higher version of your truth so that you can go through this transcendence is the expansion. So, when I said elevate, that's the preparation and the things that you need to do and the concepts you need to face, and making a list of maybe what you need to face. And this is a little bit more of the actions of things that you need to do in order to go from where you're at to where you want to go into the next level of that, which requires an upgrade. You need to be upgrading your mindset of how your limiting beliefs have been programmed from childhood conditioning, past life things that maybe you're letting go of, the subconsciousness of the programs that are running that you may not even see them running, because we actually set up in our mindset, through our perception, we will attract what we need to trigger within us to see within ourselves these mirrored reflections. But if you're looking outside of you, even down to your twin flame experience, and pointing the finger and you're not taking responsibility, then you're not coming into the fullest awakening to yourself, the shadow aspects of yourself that you're collecting in this, and aligning with that own truth within yourself, to be facing things like I did with my father and the family conditioning, so that you can find your own voice and speak your own truth. And this mindset is really a perception thing of what are you seeing out of the situation that you have, and what are you claiming over your life in these old patterns of belief that have been programmed subconsciously. And then on top of that, in our mindset, we have the right and left brain battle that's going on between our reasoning and our knowing. And then I've talked about this too, how we have the superconscious coming in of the truth of the higher self that we aren't aware of. But it's trying to all integrate the higher self, the subconscious, and our logical and reasoning mind with our inner knowing that's coming up. And we need to bring the balance into this. So we need to go through a pattern of upgrading the mindset. I think the place to start to do that would be upgrading your vision and looking at what is the highest version of me? What do I see in that? What is it going to take for me? What actions do I need to do in order to transcend from where I'm at to where I want to be? And then once I can kind of see that, then take a look at the patterns that keep repeating themselves, that's coming through different experiences, that's giving you opportunities to make decisions and choices, that's requiring you and testing you to see which one of those choices you need to make that's going to move you to the highest good versus like the old patterns. This then, in the process of that you will be balancing yourself and you will be upgrading your relationships, because you will also then be faced with these people, experiences, your twin flame, family, friends, potentially, to enact these patterns out, which is going to require you to speak your truth, show up for yourself, stand up for yourself, know your voice, and through this lion energy, have the courage and the confidence to like speak what it is you need to speak. And I've been tested with this over and over and over. Can't stress this enough. You're being forced to find your own truth and then speak your voice. Basically find your own voice, I should say, and speak your own truth versus all these things you've been programmed. In addition to this upgrade of the light, it's expanding the psyche ability, which is creating areas within the psychic brain into the fourth eye vision that we have, that's helping us see higher awareness, that is helping us activate psyche gifts that people have been persecuted for years, that they're running from owning all of those gifts based on the judgment of other people, or not believing in yourself, or not believing is this the truth or not the truth, or because it's then activating you in such a way you're collecting your shadows, that recollecting those shadows says I'm collecting more me and I'm doing more shadow work, and then now that's scary because I'm stepping out of a limb further than I've ever thought or felt or believed before. And now am I discerning, is this coming from a place of what's of my highest good, or is it coming from a place of that I'm fearing this because basically we can fear ourselves is the point I'm trying to make. We can fear who we are as we collect that. We can fear our own power as we collect that. So it's going to be about you realizing that going to the new level is going to be going out on a limb and taking you into some dark places you haven't seen before, so you can shed your light on it to gain more truth out of it. So the third thing that you can use to your advantage in this energy and timeline that will help you transcend to the highest version of you and your highest truth is expect your rewards. That means that this truth is yours. It is no one else that can choose and decide for you at this level of the game, because you're being put to the test in these decisions to decide what is your truth or not your truth. And if you step outside of that, that says you're not trusting yourself and you're not owning that truth, which is not owning your power. And in this, it's all about owning your power. And so many people are afraid of the power. And some people look at the power as being judged in fear of owning that much power. And some people that don't have power look at people in power and think it's coming from ego. I've been faced with this a lot lately because I'm in the most amount of power I've ever been in my life. And I'm going, whoa, and people like I know that haven't saw me that way, or maybe people that's only seeing me that way, they're looking at it as that's coming from a prideful place, or that's coming from ego, when it's far from my truth. If they only understood and really knew what it took me to gain that much power, to stand in that much truth, to speak with that much conviction, with no discernment and no judgment of myself and what my decisions are, and with complete confidence and courage and connected to what that is. People fear people that are in that much power if you don't have power. So we can do that of ourselves, and then we can fear the judgment of what people are thinking of within that. So this is an opportunity for you to expect your rewards to show up, meaning you need to own your truth. You need to step in it. You need to own it and collect it, and you need to claim your power, and you need to own that so that you can begin to step up, stand up, speak up for yourself in your truth at the highest and greatest version of you, being able to find, as I said earlier, that voice so you can speak that truth. And when you are in that space, you're in this sense of peace and power. And anytime you get faced with these decisions that give you the sense of, I don't know which one to make, and you're thinking and spending too much time on it, and you can see that now that's robbing you of the power of you not being able to claim what it is you need to do to take action, to keep all the energy flowing freely so that things become more fun, more flexible. This is what is our birthright, to experience freedom. And in that freedom of experience, this freedom with owning our truth and our voice, this is how we experience the peace, the harmony, the love, the light, and the liberation, owning all of our fragments and collecting all of our soul. So we align with all of our truth and get to share that with other people. So what I encourage you to do is use this energy between now and the Lionsgate to be working on elevating your truth, working on expanding your truth, and then expecting your rewards to show up. So as you go through the Lion's Gate on August the 8th, on this Saturday, that you can do it in full power so that you can then transcend to the next level of you. Because let me tell you something, people are at this place of stuck on the fence with this. And all that's doing is holding you back. And I want you to know the price has been paid. You don't have to be stuck in this limitation and limiting beliefs and limiting fear anymore. But if you want to stay in that place, what you fear will find you. What you face and what you believe in will align with you. And so if you want your reality in yourself, in your life, in your love with your twin flame, experience, journey, your livelihood, you stepping into all of you to the next highest version, into who you're becoming, is what is coming for you to do it, catapulting out of the cannonball rather than, taking these stairs to heaven, basically. You can do that, but you don't have to do it at that rate any longer. You can choose to accelerate this process, and this energy is here to support you. So make sure to check out all my resources below. Make sure, as I said, the Lion's Gate activation that I had, that's below. Also, a great resource I have is Reinvent the New You. That's going to be below. And if you're still really trying to alchemize and transcend these conditionings and belief systems, be sure to check out my Reprogram Your Childhood Wounds. The first module is free. So may you always face your fears. And also, one more thing, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, let me know how this energy is supporting you and what you're facing during this time, or what you're elevating and transcending and expanding into, or what rewards you're receiving. Have a beautiful, beautiful time in this. It can be very enlightening and elevating if you allow it to. And I will see you in the next video. Namaste.